How's it going, everyone? My name's Josh Elbow. In the video today, I want to talk to you guys about knowing your numbers as a business owner. This is something that I'm seeing a lot of people that are, especially like the first like 1 to 3 years, let's say, not doing and like not tracking their numbers. Most all business owners, like, they'll know their sales or they'll know how much money they're bringing in and how much they're making on that in the big picture, but usually that's the only number that they know. So I want to go over some of the numbers that I think as a business owner you need to know. Kevin O'Leary would completely agree with me. Like anybody on Shark Tank, I guess, would completely agree with me. I believe if you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. Robert Kiyosaki said that. Donald Trump said that. So there's plenty of people that, like the billionaires that have passed this on, and I want to pass it on to you because this is what I've learned. If I'm wrong, by all means, you might think if you think I'm wrong, leave it in the comments and tell me where I'm wrong so I can at least fix that for myself. Just realizing my eyebrows look so good. My girlfriend did such a good job. All right, back on topic. The numbers that I think you need to know are cost of customer acquisition. First of all, total sales, total profit, as well as your profit margin. So if you're doing $100,000 a year in revenue, but your like profit margin is only 20%, that might not be something that you really want to do because like you're bringing in 100K, and even if you get to use a decent amount of that for float, like you're only making 20 grand on that. That's super low. If you do, like when I do sales, if I sell $1,000 product, I usually make like $1,000. If I sell $10,000 product, I usually make like at least like 80+%. So if you're doing some high amount of revenue in your first year, let's say 100K, but you're only making, let's say less than 30%, you need to know that and know the profit margin so that you can step back and say, okay, like, and this is common sense, but I'm going to go through the whole list of all the different things. So then you might not have one, so at least that one gem you get out of the video will hopefully be in here. So sales, profit margin, your overhead expenses and your rent, depending on what type of business you're doing. Obviously, like the overhead is more, you need to know your overhead for the break-even analysis, and you need to do a break-even analysis to know when you're gonna break even. So that can be rent, that can be employees, that can be a marketing for the year. The second part that I want to get into in the video though is I don't think having a marketing budget makes sense because I think it's constrictive. And I understand you might be only willing to risk a certain amount of dollars before you give up on an idea, hypothetically. So I understand like the max risk you're willing to take in a dollar amount. But from a budget standpoint, I don't think it makes sense to have a budget because it's constrictive. If like you need to just find a number that you're comfortable investing and taking the full risk on. Like, let's say you're looking for like a 5-to-1 investment on marketing dollars because Facebook ads or Instagram ads or whatever. Know the max number you're willing to invest, like I kind of said in the last video, but not make a budget. Don't say I can only spend $1,000 a month on marketing, because if you spend $1,000 a month on marketing and you make $5,000, then why would you not spend 2 and make 10? Or like, how high can you scale that? It's constricting your ability to scale long term in the bigger picture, and I don't like the idea of that. But that's why I think I don't believe in budgeting from a marketing ad standpoint. But at the same time, I don't want to like sound hypocritical. I do believe you need to like understand for yourself, whether it's on paper, whatever, how much you're willing to risk, dollar amount, the max amount on a certain objective that you're going for the marketing side. But back to the break-even analysis and stuff. Know your cost of customer acquisition, so what a customer costs to bring them in the door, as well as average profit per customer. So I've got really like heavy into this, like all these numbers for DipLab lately, and it's to the point where I think $23 I spend, I make $460, I want to say, and the profit on that's like 401, which is average because some of the deals are $1,500 to $2K, and some of the deals might only be like $150 or $200. But knowing that I can spend $23 and on average over the long term, every $23 I'll spend, I'll bring in $401. It's a money machine. Like I can't get a better investment. Overall, it's like a 14-to-1 for every dollar I spend in ads. I make $14 back net, which is like, I can't beat it. It's a money machine. The last 3 things I have on the list are employees, the cost of employees per job per month. So depending on if you're paying hourly or if you're paying them per job, if you know what in your break-even analysis, how much they're going to cost for the year and like what your projections are for sales for the year, you can reverse engineer, which is the last thing on my list, reverse engineer the entire process. So you know how much you need to spend on marketing to hit your goals, how much you're going to spend to break even on that, including the rent and employees and overhead and materials and all that stuff, because you can do the break even analysis. If you know the average amount of jobs you get, and as well as the projections depending on the marketing, you can reverse engineer the whole process so that you know okay, this is how much we're probably going to spend on marketing. This is how many jobs we're expecting to do this year if we spend this much on marketing. And then as you go along, like the odds of you actually being right with anything is, because everything's a learning experience, is low, but you're going to learn as you go along. You might kill your projections or you might completely miss, but either way, from a perspective standpoint, if you hit your goal, it's great, but I would almost rather you like not hit your goal, because then you get to learn from the process and you get to take a step back. Okay, you're going to get a lot more value out of it long term, understanding where you failed versus getting it right and thinking you're smart, because then when you think you're strong, or when you think you're smart, when you think you're whatever, you're more likely to, whether it's be laid back or like not focus as heavy, versus when you mess up, your focus draws to it because you're human, because you want to be right and you want growth. So there's my perspective on that. Thanks for watching the video today. I'll see you in the next video.